Saffron Reyes first met the sunrise on January 15, 1997, in a roadside clinic just outside El Paso, Texas, where the Franklin Mountains blush coral before daylight settles into the Chihuahuan sand. Her mother, a mariachi trumpet soloist who traveled town fairs in a sun-faded pickup, hummed victory flourishes over the infant's crib. Her father, a wind turbine mechanic with a poet's pocket notebook, tapped gentle rhythms against the bassinet rails, promising his daughter that every draft could become a melody if one listened hard enough. Curves flowed through the Reyes bloodline like mesquite smoke through canyon air, so relatives only laughed when baby Saffron split her first denim romper seams before the third month. Grandfather Reyes tossed a blanket aside, grinned, and said, "Extra fabric is cheap compared to extra confidence." Elementary school felt like an open-air stage and a ring of critics. Saffron towered wide and tall above her peers. One recess, after kids teased her for creasing the hopscotch chalk lines, she collected fallen yucca leaves, wove them into a sunburst skirt, and performed a stomp dance so loud a substitute teacher filmed the spectacle. By that evening, 15,000 strangers had watched the clip on early YouTube, applauding the child who refused to fold smaller. The distant praise whispered a secret. Desert echoes travel farther than classroom murmurs. Teen afternoons landed Saffron behind her mother's concession tent, selling elote at rodeos. Lulls between crowds became makeshift ateliers. She snipped frayed feed sacks into high-waist shorts, spray-painted copper tumbleweed silhouettes, then posed at sunset against truck tailgates. She shared each look on Instagram under the handle Saffron Windlights, crafting captions that switched between Spanish dijos and candid English notes like, "Chub rub builds calluses tougher than tumbleweed." By 16, she had gathered 34,000 followers who cheered every time her laughter blurred lens flares. Community college scholarships eventually pulled her to Phoenix to study sustainable textiles. Daylight hours dissolved into loom labs, while nights belonged to a 24-hour truck stop diner. Refilling coffee was performance practice. She filmed 60-second back kitchen transformations, twisting order pads into corset laces and lining apron pockets with reflective road tape. One reel showed her line dancing beside a hot griddle oven while explaining bias-cut math in plain English and Spanglish. 72 hours later, the video reached 820,000 plays. Fashion bloggers christened her the Diner Dynamo. Brand offers poured in, but Saffron rejected each pitch until someone agreed to extend patterns past size 52. That partner finally appeared in early 2023 when Wrangler invited her to co-design the Desert Breath capsule. She answered with 3 demands: denim graded to 60-inch hips, embroidery inspired by borderland constellations, and paid apprenticeships for plus-size sewing students from local trade schools. Wrangler signed. The capsule launched at dawn under string lights in a dry wash arroyo, and every extended size piece sold out by dusk in 14 countries. Saffron Windlights crossed the 500,000 follower skyline. She thanked supporters during a rooftop live stream, hair wrapped in pastry parchment because scrunchies snapped under desert gusts, her grin wide as sunrise. Spotlight, heat lures rumor rattlesnakes. A gossip blog claimed she siphoned fat from her waist between shoots. She fired back with a single-take parking lot video, bare midriff daring January chill, tracing stretch marks with neon highlighter and declaring scars map dust storms I survived. 10 million viewers reposted under the tag Dust Storm Diaries, burying the rumor beneath bright confessions from thousands who colored their own lines. Burrito tip money and campaign earnings rolled into Reyes Glow. A whipped body cream swirling agave butter, prickly pear oil, and mica gleamed the hue of cotton candy crepuscule. She poured the first 13,000 tins in her father's wind turbine workshop, sealing each lid with braided baling twine and a stamped card. Moisturize the grit, not the shine. Inventory vanished in 90 minutes, raising $158,000. 20% launched Mesa Makers grants, gifting industrial sergers and solar sewing stations to reservation schools from Arizona to New Mexico. Within 1 year, 40 students showcased capsule collections stitched from reclaimed motel drapes. Phoenix Fashion Week that autumn delivered the anecdote etched into desert couture lore. Minutes before closing for Chromat, Saffron's sand gold mesh gown caught on a rigged spotlight bolt, carving a jagged slit up the thigh. Crew members panicked, but she requested reflective roadside triangles, snapped them into diamond plates along the tear, and strutted forward as if the look had been sketched that way. Photographers erupted. Vogue Southwest called it the road sign rhapsody. Chromat re-released the gown with aluminum appliques, crediting her improvisation. Saffron's follower count leaped another million before midnight churros cooled. Drama tried a second time when a former PR freelancer leaked partial email threads claiming she demanded ceremonial sage smudge in every backstage corridor. She published the full exchanges that showed her real rider, cold brew refill, quiet corner for breathing exercises, and captioning services for deaf crew. That month's affiliate revenue, $126,000, went directly to a mutual aid network supplying water barrels to migrant relief camps. Fans repeated her border slogan, "Receipts survive sunstroke," and the freelancer's accusation dried up. By early 2024, Saffron Wind Lights shimmered with 6 million Instagram loyalists, 2.7 million TikTok viewers, and 1.4 million YouTube subscribers. Engagement hovered at 9%, baffling algorithm analysts. Cartier approached for a Canyon Pulse watch campaign shot in slot canyons near Page. She accepted if Cartier funded portable solar fridges for Navajo sheep herders. They signed. The resulting film, Saffron pivoting across red rock shadows with blue-fired gemstones glinting, became the brand's highest click-through ad that quarter. Family remains her compass. Twice a month, she streams Campfire Coda, grilling green chili quesadillas beside her mother's trumpet solos while her father reads wind poems from tear-stained notebooks. One episode peaked at 9 million views when a mischievous jackrabbit dashed across coals, scattering sparks like meteor showers. A wildlife sanctuary now sponsors the stream, planting desert willow saplings for each 20,000 likes. Reyes Glow sales surpassed $10 million last fiscal year. Saffron leased an abandoned drive-in theater outside Tucson, repaving the lot with bamboo composite and turning the screen tower into a fulfillment hub, staffed by furloughed motel housekeepers and night school carpentry students. Every tin still carries baling twine knots, tied during mandatory stretch dance breaks. Investors pressed for heat shrink seals, but she cited her mother's surfboard mantra: hands memorize courage and refused automation. Open air honesty fuels her feed. She posts twin Mirage slides. First, a campaign still gleaming under controlled light. Second, a raw porch selfie showing swollen ankles and therapy worksheets. She shares breathing tracks recorded within wind turbine tunnels, now free to download. Partnering with a telehealth platform, she offers sliding scale counseling. 89,000 users have registered, many crediting her desert candor as their first oasis. Community events keep blooming. Neon trail rides invite followers to bike desert frontage roads in glow stick vests. Ticket sales bankroll water station installations every 4 miles along migrant routes. Local diners report 15% revenue lifts on ride days. Saffron finishes each trek playing air trumpet atop her board, while volunteers pass out tamarind pops. Horizons widen like desert dawn. A memoir titled Electric Seaside has not been announced, but hers, Dust Storm Diaries, lands next spring, already sold in 8 languages. Netflix will follow her plan to transform retired rail cars into mobile sewing labs for border towns. Puma is co-designing sand wave sneakers with wide toe boxes and reflective cactus spine piping, pledging 10% of profits to Mesa Makers expansion. If Saffron Reyes' ride from yucca leaf skirts to runway road signs sparked heat in your own horizon, press like, hit subscribe, and tell us in the comments which chapter blazed brightest, the foil cape spin, the road sign rhapsody, or the jackrabbit meteors. Details for Reyes Glow, Mesa Makers grants, and tonight's Campfire Coda recipe for salted honey churros sit right below this script. Remember, every curve can redirect the wind, each scar can etch canyon walls, and the desert greets all who dare to step wide into the sun. Lace up, face the horizon, and let your own wind lights flare.